Jesus made it clear through his discussion with the rich man that came to him asking for the way of perfection. He made it clear to him that unless we detach ourselves from material things, it will be difficult for us to make heaven. Mark's Gospel, chapter 10, verse 17 to 24. Unless we free ourselves from material things, that it will be difficult for us to make heaven. That it will be very difficult for a rich man to make heaven. Once you are able to make provisions for your needs, and not just for your needs, but even your wants, especially as you have even gone beyond making provision for your needs, but also providing for your wants. Whoever is able to provide for wants is a rich person. In Matthew's Gospel also, chapter 6, verse 24, he says that we cannot serve both God and money, making it clear that the way of perfection is detachment from material things. Also in Luke's Gospel, chapter 12, verse 33, he says, store up your treasure in heaven, not where robbers can attack it, not where it will give you restlessness. Because he said that where a man's wealth is, there his heart will be drawn to. So if we store up our treasure in heaven, our heart will be in heaven. But if we store up our treasure in this life, our heart will be in this life. If it is in a bank, our heart will be in the bank. If it's in your investment, your heart will be in your investment. But he says, store it up in heaven. Now, it is believed that the church, some people believe that the church got the teaching of Jesus Christ wrong. Because attention was shifted from the material world to God, to heaven. So much so that somebody like Jim Reeves sang, "This world is not my home, I'm just passing through. My treasure is laid up somewhere beyond the blue. The angels beckon me, in heaven open door, and I cannot feel at home in this world anymore." So some people believe that the church got the message of Jesus Christ wrong, and that the church has produced lazy people who are always in the church, praying without doing anything. And you even hear a saying that the church is not run with Hail Mary. We don't hit Hail Mary. The church is not run with Hail Mary. Maybe the extreme, people who misunderstood Jesus Christ felt that, in fact, there is no need to walk. Just like when Paul was saying that the time is short. Nobody knows the time, including St. Paul. And people took that to the extreme. And also took the teaching of Jesus Christ to the extreme, maybe, and believe that it's only through prayers they can feed. But the St. Paul says, whoever does not work should not be given food. At least that was a balancing in his teaching. But it is always said that holiness is in the middle. Because maybe there was a total push to heavenly mindedness. Maybe heavenly minded people were created, if really they are heavenly minded, and they become almost earthly useless. without material things, believing that through prayers we can always have our fill. Well, there is new emphasis on material things because we said maybe we have gotten it wrong. People should be taught how to do work. People should be taught that the church is not even run with Hail Mary. The church should invest. Church begin to invest. People are taught how to taught economic empowerment and financial sustainability, and that has given rise to an overemphasis on material things, to the extent that church is now grappling how to not be swallowed by materialism. Materialism of the individuals. Those who believe now that, yes, material things is God's blessing, and nobody is saying that material things are not God's blessings. But people now judge the presence of God through their material prosperity. People judge the goodness of God through their material prosperity. But the sense will still tell you that material things are not the best gift of God to those he loves. There is now overemphasis on material things. People no longer even know the divide between their needs and their wants. The church does not know her divide again. The divide between her needs and her wants. Yes, people will have the slogan that the church is not run on Hail Mary. But go to a parish, especially the rich ones that have money to throw around. Whenever you have a new parish priest and the money is there, and father wouldn't want to embezzle the church money, and maybe even thinking of what to do, he may begin to think of what to knock down, and new ones must come up. Are they our needs? He will look at the window and say, no, this one now is out of fashion, and the windows must be knocked down, all of them. Then he will look at the ceiling and the roof that is not leaking and say, no, this one is out of fashion. Is that a need or a want? He will look at the interlock and say, no, this is already rough. We have to remove the whole interlock and put a modern one. Gradually, both the church and individuals are so much engulfed on the wants that are not necessary. They may be important, they may be good, but they are not necessities. If somebody has his mind on the teaching of Jesus Christ, that the rich ones will find it difficult to make heaven, and if you want to be perfect, then detach yourself from material things, then this consideration will be very clear to us. But gradually, every church is judged based on its affluence. The saints of old were running away from material things. Those we revere today, the saints we honor today, run away from material things. Just as Jesus was running away from material things. All the saints. Yes, people like Paul walked at least to meet his needs. And many others walked to meet their needs. But they run away from affluence. The church of today is not running away from affluence. We have discovered that the church is not run with Hail Mary. But the Hail Mary is not even prayed again. It's all material needs, our material desires. But we must know that the more we detach ourselves from material things, the more we attach ourselves to God. That does not mean that we will be lazy praying in the church without committing ourselves to where we get our daily bread. Jesus Christ taught his disciples, when you pray, say, give us this day our daily bread. And when you pray, of course, by extension, give us this day our daily bread, you will go in search of the daily bread. But make sure it's daily bread you are searching for. Jesus never taught them to pray for affluence. Since, like David will pray, God, do not make me rich, because in my riches I may forget you. There is that danger that I may forget you. But do not make me poor, because in my poverty, in my pains and anguish, I may not know when I curse you. Just give me what I need. And that should be our desire, so that we may not be in the danger of losing heaven. Because he said it clearly that it will be difficult for a rich woman, for a rich man to make heaven.